Let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast. We got some changes on the way. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a weak disturbance pushing through this morning. That has provided us with some high clouds passing through the area. We still have some low clouds around the coast though. And we're going to transition once that disturbance pushes through to some gusty conditions. So those winds will start to pick up mid-afternoon, and we're going to continue to see those gusty winds into tomorrow. And that's because of this trough of low pressure that will eventually start to dig down into our area. So beginning of the day, still influenced by this ridge of high pressure. We're still going to have some warm spots, especially for our inland areas. However, we still have that onshore flow, so that's going to keep some of our coastal cities still in those upper 50s to low 60s in spots. But again, inland 70s and 80s today. Now, this trough of low pressure will dig down into much of the western U.S. here. Moisture going to remain to the north of us, but being in between this trough and this ridge, we're actually going to see some gusty winds. So those winds, as I mentioned, will pick up today. The strongest winds will be on Saturday, and we'll still be in between these two systems as we head through the weekend into the early part of next week. One thing I want to mention too, we're going to see a pretty significant cool down tomorrow, especially for those inland spots. So it is going to be a cool day, or at least a cooler day on Saturday. But as we start to head out of the weekend into the early part of next week, ridge of high pressure starts to build back in, and that's going to remain with us through a good chunk of next week. And by midweek next week, we are looking at some pretty toasty temperatures inland with the return of those 90s in a few spots. Again, those winds will be picking up. We're going to see those typical winds in the Salinas Valley, anywhere between that 25, 30, 35 mile per hour range. Again, occasional gusts here. These are not sustained winds, but we will also have some strong gusts kind of get going around mid-afternoon for the Big Sur coast, also the south side of the bay there. And then we're going to continue to see occasional gusts through the overnight hours, especially for some of those higher terrain locations like in the mountains there around Pacheco Pass. And then those winds will continue to be stronger as we head into tomorrow afternoon, with occasional gusts around the south side of the bay, Big Sur coast, Salinas Valley, and the mountainous areas. Again, those winds anywhere between that 35 to 40 mile per hour range tomorrow. There is no wind advisory out there, but we will keep a close eye on those alerts for you. As we head throughout the day today, again, mix of high and low clouds. We will keep some of those low clouds most of the day on the south and east side of the bay. High clouds will continue to pass through the area this afternoon. They will thin out though throughout the afternoon, so we're actually seeing some pretty thick high clouds this morning. And then low clouds, again, as I mentioned, will thicken as we start to head into the late afternoon, evening hours on the south and east side of the bay. Now, low clouds do have the chance to fill into our valley locations. That marine layer does have the chance to become deeper tomorrow morning, which could cater to some drizzle tomorrow morning as well. Models are favoring this. However, one thing I want to mention, if we do get some gusty winds through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, that could disrupt this. But right now, we are looking at widespread low clouds tomorrow morning. That marine layer really spreading out and giving us some patchy drizzle tomorrow morning. Temperatures today, still not bad. We'll be in those low to mid 70s on the north side of the bay, mid to upper 70s in the San Lorenzo Valley, low 70s for the Summit area. Near the coast, upper 60s for Davenport. We're still going to have those northwesterly winds coming off of the water. Keeping those clouds around Marina and Castroville throughout the day today, keeping you in those low 60s. Again, those northwesterly winds also keeping you on the cool side. Upper 60s around Aptos and Watsonville. 68 for Salinas. We'll be in those upper 70s to low 80s in the Santa Clara Valley. Upper 50s to low 60s, so a cool day for the Monterey Peninsula this afternoon. Be comfortable in the Salinas Valley, where we're going to find mostly 70s out there this afternoon. Low 80s for Parkville, Bradley, San Antonio Valley, 70s for the Big Sur coast, and upper 60s for Carmel Valley.